Hey everybody, what's going on? Speedy Diver here, and this is going to be the video where I take this Xbox 360 apart, clean it out, and test it to see if it works. Now, I'm just as clueless as all of you watching at the moment. I have no idea if this console turns on, if it's full of dust, if it's broken. I have no idea, just like you watching. So I hope everyone's gonna enjoy the video as much as I love making these kinds of videos. Just to show you guys, it's a standard Xbox 360, and if it does work, I have a very, very cool video idea what to do with it once I'm done cleaning it and all that, if it actually does turn on. All you need is a Torx 8 or 9, I'm not too sure, I kind of forget at the moment, I apologize, but right here, this torque bit, which is pretty, like, easy to find, it's basically a star bit, and there's also toothpicks. That's all you need. Seriously, toothpicks. So easy. Toothpicks are actually the #1 thing we are going to be using to take this apart. So the first step of taking the Xbox 360 apart is going to be taking off the faceplate. Now this part's pretty easy. Basically just stand it up like so. You can get maybe a bezel remover or something to take this off, but I just use my fingernail, and the front plate pops right off. There's nothing attached to it, so super duper easy. It's not like the newer Xboxes where there's actually a cable attached to it, but it's just a very easy process. Next is going to be taking off the front plate, or the top plate that the hard drive goes into, and the very bottom gray plate as well. These two plates actually have 3 feet, I believe, on each side. There's 3 on that side and 3 on this side. This side, there will be feet hidden underneath these, but I will attempt to try to take it off without taking these actually out. This one just happened to be not there when I found it. If you guys do not know the story behind this Xbox, I actually found it GameStop dumpster diving, and that's why it's all scuffed up and stuff, and it is missing a foot. Look how dusty it already is on the inside. That's insanely dusty. Like really dusty. This is why I love taking apart Xboxes before I test them out, to give them a fighting chance to actually turn on, because that dust could potentially make it overheat insanely quick. So the bottom plate is now off. Let's see how dirty the bottom is. Oh my gosh. Okay, this has to be the dirtiest Xbox I've actually ever opened before. Just by seeing this right here, there's supposed to be air that goes through these holes. These holes are supposed to all have air go in and out of the Xbox, and they're all of them. Basically, every single one is clogged with dust. This Xbox may not work. Maybe it overheated. I have no idea. You can also tell this Xbox has actually never been opened up before because this warranty sticker has never been cut. If this sticker is cut, that's how you know your Xbox has actually been opened before and maybe repaired or cleaned. So we can tell this Xbox has never been cleaned in its entire life because the warranty sticker is still there. Next, to get into the Xbox, there's going to be a clip here, 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 and over here, and it just lifts up, and then the back has clips as well that you undo, and we'll get into it. One thing I always do on this side is I always take it completely off as much as I can, and look at all that dust right there. But I take it and I flip it actually over what it is initially supposed to be clipped on, so that way when I do the clips on the other side, that side doesn't clip back together. Now this side's a way harder kind of thing, and this is where the toothpicks come into play again. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips on this side. Now what makes this difficult is that they're very tiny to get to. That's why a toothpick usually comes in handy, but like I said, very difficult to do. And as you can hear, those clicks, those are actually unclipping as we speak. Usually the toothpicks will break, but you can see, there we go, just did it, and I actually ended up cracking something on this side because this Xbox did not want to open. Wow, that is not good, but there is so much dust in this. But I think what cracked is, oh, okay, no, just that cracked right there, which isn't too bad. Sometimes the shells on these are so old that they do crack, but that is a lot of dust. There's still one more screw that I accidentally missed, as there's freaking dust hanging from my hand. There's so much dust. This is absurd. So this is the moment of truth. Okay, not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Usually the dust would really collect over here. It's really dusty, don't get me wrong, but it's not as dusty as I thought it would be. But that right there, that is a lot of dust. Yeah, there's a lot of dust in here. There's old dust up in here as well. That's not looking too good. So as you can see, there's all dust on the heat sink as well as over here. There's dust on top of capacitors, and oh man, that is just really bad. This right here is probably the worst thing for it because it's not getting any air into the console. That is really, really bad. Now, the worst part about it would be back here where the fans are, which there is a lot of dust. Yeah, there's actually a lot of dust, which is kind of bad as well. But let's get the disk drive out and see how much dust is all around under there. The disk drive is always relatively easy to take apart. Basically, you just gotta cut this little sticker right here, which is pretty easy. Flip it on down. You can take it like this, kind of move it out of the way for a second, because there's gonna be a couple cables down here. There's gonna be one right here, which you just slide right out, and another one right here, and then this comes out. Wow, that is dusty. Ooh, that's nasty. Okay, yeah. Even the contacts in here are a little dusty as well. It's just all around really dusty. That is looking really bad as well. There's a lot of dust built up right in there. That's a ton of dust right there. Look at that. Woo. So next we're taking off this right here, which basically just funnels the air that's coming in from the fans into it to cool it down. But sometimes dust does get stuck underneath in here. So let's take this off and hope for the best. These are kind of always a little difficult to take off. You gotta wiggle them, which, yep, all dust in here. That is... I mean, I kind of expect it though, in a way, because these consoles are so old, these Xboxes, that you kind of expect it to be full of dust, especially since I did find it dumpster diving. You'd expect it to be full of dust and just dirty and grimy. That is... ooh. This needs a full-on 100% cleaning. So the ways I clean Xbox 360s, the way I always clean them is usually the broom method, where I just get a hand broom and I sweep it out very, very, very gently so I don't destroy, I don't break any capacitors that are sticking up. Capacitors, by the way, are these guys that are sticking up. I don't want to break any wires, anything at all, so I go very, very gentle. Now you can also buy a can of air from like the dollar store, just a electronics store, but that costs money, so I don't usually do that, and the broom method has never let me down. There's also, you can use a leaf blower, blow it out, but for this time, I'm gonna I probably should use a leaf blower. I'm probably gonna use a leaf blower and the broom because there's just so much dust. So before I take this console outside and clean it, I want to let you guys know that I'm not actually going to be putting this back together if it works. Well, even if it doesn't work, I'm not going to put it back together. Now, the reason for it is, well, I will put the disk drive back together to test it out and all that, but I won't put the shell back on it or anything, because if it does end up working, I'm going to be doing something with this console. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what yet, but you can kind of maybe get a hint from me not wanting to put it back together. If you've seen my other videos, I usually always put consoles back together because that's the way they're made out of the factory. That's the way you want the console to look. Now, I'm actually going to be doing something with the circuit board and just the fans and just everything in this, if it ends up working. And it's going to be a really cool idea, and some of you may have guessed it already. If you have, let me know your ideas in the comment section below. But let me go take this outside and clean it up. So I just took this outside, and all the pieces you can see in the photo right now, or in the picture, is basically all the pieces that I cleaned. Now, I didn't actually clean these, I just put those there for the heck of it, but I cleaned everything else because the case I will not be needing if the console works. So, what I am going to do though, is I am going to let you guys know that, like, my leaf blower just ran out of gas and I didn't have any extra gas, so I had to just use the broom method. Now, the broom method with this one worked pretty well, but you can still see there is some dust in the fans. But if the console ends up working, I'm still going to be ripping this thing apart even further, probably, to do what I want to do with it. Now, what I will be doing is probably putting this back together, like this piece. I'm going to be putting, obviously, the disk drive back into place as well, because those pieces I kind of need at the moment to test it out and see if it works. Hard drive, not so much, but let's just put this all back together and see if the console works. Now we have power going to the Xbox, video going to the Xbox to the TV. Let's try it out. We got something? We got it? You hear it? Sounds good. Oh, screen's changing. Xbox, baby. Oh, that's not good. Oh, it's back. What happened? Why did it shut off and turn back on? There we go! It freaking turns on! Let's get it! So after all that hard work, the Xbox has paid off. It freaking turns on. But the question still remains, does it work? It works in the sense that it does turn on, but will it maybe overheat? Will it maybe not read discs? Is there a game in the disk drive? Let's check it out. Let's press the button. Oh. No, sometimes hitting it works. Is it not gonna... Please let something out. Maybe the disc tray is broken on this. It sounds like it doesn't want to let it out. Sometimes they get stuck. I know I'm pressing down here, but this is where you need to press if, like, because this won't work right here. You broken? So I think we found out the problem of why this was thrown out, or the reason behind it. This doesn't open. The disc tray does not open one bit. You can hear it struggling, even when you tap it. Usually tapping it or giving it a little wiggle will make it come out, but it's not working. So I could take this apart if I want to and try to fix it and to see if there's actually a game inside, because literally, like, it's not coming out. Probably the reason why it was thrown out. There we go, got it. It was just a little jam. There's a lot of dust stuck in it. So apparently the dust is what pretty much clogged it all up. My voice might sound weird, by the way, on video. I have the camera in a really weird spot, so I don't know if my voice is getting picked up good. But literally, it opens. Look at that, perfect. But it closes instantly, so there's just a lot of dust here. All this dust needs to really be cleaned out, but it's very grimy underneath this, and I was able to take the cover off and just pretty much clean it out. You can see all the dust up in the case. Really, really gross. So at the moment, I'm kind of figuring out that there's another big problem. I'm not able to sync a controller to the console. Now, this controller I ended up finding, but it looks like it's working fine. As you can tell, I've never tried this controller out before, but I did try a controller before this one, and that one didn't work neither. So, what I'm thinking, I got this to work though, which is great. What I'm thinking and what I can see from right here is that there's literally no LEDs on. And when I hit the sync button down here, nothing, the LEDs are supposed to spin, nothing's turning on. So I'm not able to actually sync a controller to the console, which kind of defeats the purpose of playing this. Unless I can hook up a wired controller and that works. If a wired controller works, that means I'll be able to play this Xbox via wired controller, which means the Xbox will work fine, just you can't use a wireless controller. So that's the next step in the process of seeing if this will work or not. So since this console's been having so many little issues between the disc tray and now just not being able to sync a controller, it'll probably work with the wired controller, but since there's just so much that's going wrong with it at the moment, I'm just not going to use this console for what I had its intentions for. I will end up using another console that I have found in the past and that I know works 100%. That way I can still do what I want to do with an Xbox 360, which is going to be really cool video idea. I will be leaving the video over here where I found the Xbox 360 as well as my merchandise in this corner, the Speedy Gamer in this corner. Go subscribe if you like gaming content and subscribe to the Speedy Diver. And don't forget to stay tuned for that video coming probably this week or the end of this week of me doing something with an Xbox 360 and making something really cool. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.